Okay.
The Golden West Board. The Golden West Board, he's not here now, so we're not be able to go interview. We want to interview with them, but I'm asking that you guys, Golden West, they see the future. They're part of the present. They know that they believe in the fairness of voting. So Golden West has online voting, and you can vote by mail. So Craig wants to explain that now. If you're a Golden West cooperative member, you can vote online for Craig. He's running against Dave Austin, the non-tribal member. So you guys remember, offer and reach support all the tribal candidates. Let's go. Let's not say that we support Western Lackland, that's not going to stay. The Golden West is called District 4. That on top, you can imagine. That's what she's like. Someone like the home. When that typically we don't have any much of the most actually. I think I'm not that last one. Yes. Nobody ever works for that seat, so we have to start thinking about Golden West in the future. That's about it.
Ron, can I say one thing with that?
Yeah.
You have to be a member for like 5 years before you can run. So you have to be a member of Golden West and keep uninterrupted service for 5 years before you can even try to get on the board. So a lot of our people out there, they probably think, well, let's try it, but make sure you got 5 years under your belt before you go put in the effort to get all those signatures.
But
and
I'm
do
sure
that.
they could still vote,
Oh, they can vote, but I just want to inform them that in order, we want more people on the board. Craig is good, but we should have 2 or 3 Lakotas
Of course.
vying for the position.
Of course. But this time, before I sit down, I'm going to be I guess this is my son, Joseph. This is my son, Joseph Podcast niece. He's one of our offer workers. He'll be assisting me. Joe and I will be the gophers. I'll sit down and shut up here pretty quick, but we're going to be the gophers. If anybody wants us to let us know. And we're going to bring in water.
Vibrant?
We have some more than bologna sandwiches, chips, cheese. And what else, the other. Rose, could you introduce yourself?
Hello, my name is Rose Cordier, and I've been working with Ronnie and Paula for several years now on offer. And I just wanted to say that we know that offer has been making a huge difference on our reservation and in these area elections. And I'm really proud to be a part of offer. And we're open to anyone joining us too. It's all volunteer, and everyone's welcome to join and help us. And like Ronnie said, we try to get the word out at every election that comes on the reservation that affects our people. We want our tribal strength in all these seats, no matter what they are. School, politics, government, anything. We think tribal members should be in those seats because this is our homeland here. And we're glad that offer has really made a difference over the years in getting people out to vote. We get information out to the people, and we like to do the forums so you can meet the candidates and hear from the candidates, hear what they want to do for you to improve our lives here on the reservation. So thank you, Ronnie, and thank you, the Rosebud Sioux Tribe Communications Department. It's great to see you here to help us get the word out to the people, and thank you to the candidates for showing up. And hope to hear some good words from you guys tonight, so we know who to vote for next Saturday.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay, then before I turn it over to Paula and John, son, is there anything you want to say?
I'm here to help.
Okay, he's a good guy. He's a good guy. And I'm going to turn it to Paula. You can introduce yourself, your role to offer, and with John. Thank you both. And so I'm going to sit down, shut up, and you guys eat some water, some bologna sandwich, let me know. Or Joe. Well, you guys too.
Thank you. Good evening, everybody out there on Koya, RST, YouTube. And I just want to thank Koya for helping us and hosting this event, our candidates forum for the 2024 Cherry Todd Electric annual meeting, which will be coming up on Saturday, September 22nd. Is it the 20th? September 20th at 10 a.m. at the Ben Rifle Auditorium. But my name is Paula Antoine, and I've been working with Rose and Offer and Ron for, it's coming up on 10 years now. And one of the things that, we seen was that there are different ways to organize our communities to get our voices heard. There were a lot of things that we felt that the cooperative board needed to hear, and we would like to express our concerns on some of the things that were happening with our cooperative. And we still believe that today. And so it was 10 years. We organized annual empowerment gatherings for our community. This past year, we haven't had one, but we are having our candidate forum. And I just want to say, I come from the ideal community, and, we need people from all of our communities to participate in bringing our community together, gathering our community, and ensuring that our community members have a future. All of these candidates, I commend each candidate that has come out tonight because they took the time out of their days and their lives to show concern for the people. They have been running, they have been active in the communities, and I just want to say how happy I'm here. I'm glad they're all here. It's just wonderful to see people who are interested and engaging in the community, whether it's civic, our general, our utilities, whatever it is. We need more people to ensure that we have the resources and everything available to have a better community and better lives for our generations coming. So I'll let John go ahead, and if we want to start it off, but I just wanted to mention that. And if you have any questions about Cherry Todd Electric annual meeting coming up, their number is 856-4416, or they have a website. It's, I think it's just Cherry Todd Electric, cherry-todd.com. And so that's some information out. You can even report outages there, but it also has on their website the bylaws and what each one of our candidates went through to become eligible to be on the board and to run for the board. So.
Okay, thank you, Paula. Good evening, everybody. Again, my name is John Miller. I go by the Miller Man on radio. I'd like to acknowledge our folks behind the scenes. They really get a chance to get recognized, but we have Roger Ellert. He is the main person here tonight that's kind of running things as far as behind the scenes with the camera, sound, and everything like that with the Rosebud Sioux Tribe IT department, which we're a part of. Also, I have Kellen Starchief. He is one of our DJs on Hits 96 KINI, and we also have Gunnar Krogman. He is our marketing manager for both stations, as well as a backup DJ and everything, and of course I'm the manager. And we are, like Paula said, we are here tonight to meet with the candidates for the upcoming election this coming Saturday the 20th. And with that said, that short intro, I'll let Paula go ahead and begin with our presentation here tonight on both KOY-FM and also the Channel 93, RST Channel 93.
Thank you, John. I'll just give name the candidates, and then they'll have the opportunity to introduce themselves, and we've given them time. And we've also given them some questions that some of our viewers and some of the tribal membership have asked, and we'll give them the opportunity to select topics that they want to talk about, what they feel important is, and why they're running for our Cherry Todd Electric Board. And we have Sean Bordeaux, Glenn Yellow Eagle, Noah Sandy Tucker, and Shakira Rattling Leaf. So if we just want to start, do you want to, which direction do you want to go?
Ladies first.
Ladies first.
Hello, Sichonguland. My name is Shakira Rattling Leaf, and I am honored to announce my candidacy for the Cherry Todd Electric Cooperative Board of Directors. I am a proud member of the Rosebud Sioux Tribe, a mother of 8, and someone deeply rooted in this community. I understand the importance of reliable, affordable electricity for our families, farms, and businesses. I bring strong experience in both governance and community service. I currently serve on the RST Tribal Utilities Commissioner and the RST Cannabis Commission. I am also on the Tree of Life Board of Directors. I've worked for the last 8 years for the Rosebud Sioux tribe, including 7 years as the administrative assistant for our tribal elections. I am currently the office manager for the Rosebud Sioux tribe vice president, Lisa Whitepipe. If elected, I will work to keep rates fair, improve reliability, and ensure decisions are made with transparency and accountability. I believe that Cherry Todd Electric should always reflect the voices of its membership. I am committed to representing our community with integrity, fairness, and dedication. With your support, I will work hard to keep our cooperative strong for today and for the future. A little background on me. Like I said, I was born and raised here. I am the daughter of Brenda Farmer and Robert Rattling Leaf, who is the current Horse Creek Council rep. That's all I have.
Time to rebuttal. Time to rebuttal.
Sorry. Thank you, Shakira. If there's anything that you might have forgot at the end, we have time, we'll let you go ahead and
Okay.
reiterate some things that you want to talk about. Sandy?
Hello, my name's Sandy Tucker. I work at Mission Ace Hardware. My family and I reside in Antelope community. I've been on the Cherry Todd board for 8 years. And during that 8 years, we've strived to keep the rates rates as low as we can and service as reliable as we can. That's my introduction.
Thank you, Sandy. Glenn?
Good morning. I'd like to thank everybody for the opportunity to be here with Offer providing this. I served on Cherry Todd in the past and lost an election recently. I'm giving it another chance to be on the board. I enjoyed working there. It opened my eyes to a lot of different things with utilities. I believe we made an impact this past term as far as relationships between the tribe and the Cherry Todd board. There's all this animosity between them and keeping each other's territorial, I guess. I'm also married, have 3 children and 4 grandchildren. I live in Antelope majority of my life, but thank you.
Thank you, Glenn. Sean?
Sean Bordeaux Milo. I'm from Antelope community. Father's Lionel Bordeaux, my mom's Barbara, was born a Colombe. Graduated 1985 from Todd County. Went to University of Nebraska, got a business degree in '92 and a master's in community and regional planning in 2003. I've been on tribal council, sat down there where Sandy's sitting for a term, and I kind of cut my teeth in this arena in about 2012 or 2010. I don't remember. I was on that working board with WAPA, and I was on commission, Utilities Commission. I've also since then been on a tax commission, Treaty Council a couple times, state legislator for 8 years in the House and 2 years in the Senate. When I left, I was chairman of the Corrections Commission. I was vice chairman of the National Council on State Legislators, also known as the Quad Caucus. I was on the State Tribal Relations Committee with the state. I was chairman of that and vice chairman a couple times. I've been chairman of Cherry Todd Board for, I don't know, 5 or 6 of my 9 years now. Kind of forget. Looking forward to working with whoever gets on here. Sandy and Glenn and I have all been on the board, and Shakira and I go way back as a relative, so I'm sure whoever I work with, I'll have a good working relationship, and look forward to working with this body here and the tribe and doing whatever we can to build kind of redundancy where the tribe has their own backup plan for if we have a blackout or brownout. It would be nice if the tribe had kind of their own little system intact where we used, wind, water, and solar, and basically had a backup to what Cherry Todd's backup plan already is. So I'll leave it with that. Thank you. Appreciate the opportunity, especially to offer for all you guys do in pushing the vote. I know I wouldn't have been successful in all my years without your help, so thank you. Thank you all.
Thank you, Sean. Shakira, did you get a chance to look at our list of questions that were compiled from tribal members? There's some things about net metering, there's different things about clean energy. I think the bylaws were mentioned as well. There's a couple other concerning transmission capacities, the relationship between the Cherry Todd and our own tribal departments and entities, and how do you see the direction of the cooperative going? And if you'd like to, oh, there you go.
I think it is very important for our Cherry Todd membership to maintain their voices and keep and build a strong cooperative with Cherry Todd. As a Cherry Todd member and a Rosebud Sioux tribal member, it is vital to strengthen the relationship between our cooperative and the tribe. I will work to create an open communication, encourage partnership on projects that benefit our communities, and ensure the voices of the tribal members are respected and represented in decision-making. Together, we can build a cooperative that truly serves all of its membership with fairness, respect, and unity. And I say that because I did attend the Cherry Todd Cooperative meeting last year, and I thought there was some things there that was very disrespectful to our tribal membership. One being a relative of mine, Lakota Wea. She got up and she was speaking, and she was very rudely interrupted by a non-member. And for us to maintain our good relationship, I think it's very important that order stays in our meeting that's going to be happening. And it inspired me to, run for the board, because I think it was 80% of our Cherry Todd membership are tribal members, and we need to keep our voice active. It needs to be strong, and we need our support from everybody. So I encourage all our tribal members, please get out there and vote. Come to Ben Rifle Auditorium. Last year there was only, Glenn, about 30 tribal members that came. So it's very important, even in our tribal elections, our school board elections, any of our elections, we have a voice, we need to use it. Thank you.
Thank you, Shakira. Sandy, did you get a chance to look at our questions?
Yes, I did.
And select some things that you'd like to talk a little bit about?
Well, I'd kind of like to talk about what Shakira was talking about, tribal relations. I mean, it seems like since I've got on the board, between offer and the utility commission, communications have got better, and it seems to be helping. We need to work more that way. The other thing he was talking about was net metering. There's a lot of states that net metering is a law, but it's not in South Dakota, so that's something that needs to be worked on. whether it's utility commission works on it or, but it's gotta, you know, be worked out with the state, so.
Can I ask you a follow-up question to that?
Sure.
I know that that it was introduced at the state legislation on net metering, but I didn't really understand the law. Does it have to go through the state first before the cooperatives respond? Or how does that work?
I think Sean could probably answer that question better than I can because he was on the senator up there, you know, but as far as I know, until they get a set net metering law, we're where we're at, right?
Go ahead, Sean.
Yeah. Let me just start by saying Cherry Todd already does net metering. We do this already. This is a practice that is common for us in Nebraska. We have some folks that do some log cabins or some, you know, bed and breakfast type of things. They have their own renewable energy activities going to where they feed the meter. The problem is you know, we're not gonna let somebody do that for free. You can't just use our, you know, stuff and then expect us to let you have, you know, whatever, full access to that power. We're gonna charge you to use our facilities, our equipment. Just like John or anybody else wouldn't be happy about somebody coming in and KI&I or Koya and just taking over. And even though the tribe owns the station, they have rules that the FCC makes sure that are followed in order for them to stay open. And so the second part of that is we are a sovereign nation. We don't have to wait for the state, but the cooperative is bound by the state rules. So there's kind of a tricky fix there. Where'd your brother go? He was here a minute ago. We need him and others. And sovereignty is not a thing that we hide behind in court or a thing that we use to punch the state in the face. It's a leverage tool that we use to get through these agreements that need to take place, just like we have any other agreement. So we have to broach it with that, saying, what do you do for Nebraska? Do the same thing for us up here. And then two, let's put a package together that says, here's how we're doing it. Cherry Todd already does that. We would love to do it here and here and here in Todd and Millette County. But here's our plan how to do that forward. And here's some legislation that maybe somebody, whoever it is, can carry forward in the state. So those are the avenues we have to take. We just kind of beat the thing and say, we want net metering. We don't know what that means, but we want net metering. Well, I've been at the state, and there are people in the state who want net metering as well, but they're in the minority, and they don't have near the votes in order to get something like that to pass. So I'll say that because I kind of spoke on Sandy's time there, but that's what I have to say with regard to net metering.
Thank you, Sean.
But that's where we're at with net metering. It's just the state thing, so.
Okay, thank you. Is there anything else you'd like to add about clean energy or?
Well, clean energy is a great thing, and the tribe is working on their bus system and all that now, and out to the village, that's up and running now, so that's another good thing because it's being put in use. And somewhere down the road, Cherry Todd is probably going to be depending on solar systems and things like that, that they can get power from, because I don't know, if you listen to the national news right now, they're talking about you know, the cost of energy skyrocketing. You know, it's been on national news. They're also talking about brownouts. You remember the brownout of 2021? Well, they're talking that could be happening again in the future. And in order for that not to happen, we've got to have resources to get more electricity from. Whether it's wind, solar, or water or something, but we're going to need it. Some states are already passing legislation now because of the brownout in 2021. You know, here, Cherry Todd called around to the hospital, schools, asked them to shut down as far as they could so they could give us homeowners, the residents, electricity, so we're not the ones that are, getting bid for it. And the legislation some states are passing is that when you do have an outage like that or a brownout, that it's legal for the cooperatives to actually tell them, you got to shut down or cut way down. And that's something else we're going to need in this state, And the tribe and utility commission is going to have to help us get that through the state legislation. Because that, what was it, $400 billion or 400, I forget how many dollars was put out by Biden to build all this infrastructure and everything. Well, you know what our new administration is doing with it now. We're going to be hurting. And we need to work together as a cooperative and the tribe and the state to get this all done. I mean, I kind of went offline there, but I mean, that's what we're, with solar energy and everything. So, thank you.
Thank
My
you,
turn,
Sandy.
Paul?
Yes. Yes, Glenn.
Jumping over that.
They're hopping over you. Now we'll go directly to you. I know that you've been on the board for a while, so I think you can kind of hone in on some of these questions and, because I know you've been active in other areas of the community as well. So if you want to select some of these that you feel you have a really good answer to, I think you can.
I guess first of all, as general manager and attorney running the board, I don't believe so. The board makes those determinations, although they may allow the general manager to give them direction. It's the board's decision. So if we don't agree with what's happening with Cherry Todd, it's the board's responsibility. And talking about the elections, I think Ron always harping on the elections. We've been trying to work on that with TUC. I'm a member of TUC for the tribe. If elected, I would step down from TUC to represent Cherry Todd. But I believe I was instrumental in bridging that gap between the tribe and Cherry Todd. I worked hard with the board, of course. We tried to create a liaison position for the tribe. They're always welcome. I think Ron's aware of that. Now that I'm on the other side, tribal side, we've been trying to meet with them, asking about the elections and amending the bylaws. However, kind of hit stumbling blocks, and seems Cherry Todd doesn't want to change their bylaws at this time, for the election part anyway. Their attorney keeps advising us they can't do that according to tribal or state law, I guess so. That's something I would be work on if elected. We should have more say-so, the tribal members, on cooperatives that are within our boundaries. I really believe that. I'm an advocate for representing our laws. We mentioned them at the meetings, certain things, the shut-off dates. Tribe has certain ones and we don't. Cherry Todd, they follow state law. So those kind of things can be worked out, I believe, if given opportunity and the support to push it. But pretty much a lot of those top questions are answered by these two, and they're took my thunder. Anyway, that's all I have.
Well, thank you for your thunder.
Down under.
Yeah, thunder down under. Okay, we'll go to Sean. I know that you were eyeing some of these questions, and I feel like you can respond to some of these. So go ahead, Sean.
Well, I'll jump right in where Glenn left off, and that is that the Cherry Todd Board is waiting for opportunity to meet with Utility Commission. We've been trying to set that up and make whatever changes that the membership wants. So we've talked about that for a number of years. And each time things come along, we have elections and, all this stuff goes on here. But we have a board that is fully in favor of making whatever changes. But we need to hear from people what changes they want to make. So there's a lot of this beating the desk, but not a lot of conferring exactly what you want to say and what you want to have changed. And the liaison thing is a brand-new thing that just came along recently after Glenn lost his last election last year. So we haven't really needed that. And even my own experience, I got my experience from being on the Utility Commission and being with Ron on that WAPA negotiation team. I think I was the first one selected to be on that group. So I've had my time, and I've been on a treaty council twice, vice chair of the treaty council. I'm full on for Indians. I'm full on for our people. I'm not trying to use Cherry Todd as some way that I could build my resume. I have a pretty good resume without Cherry Todd, but I'm strong in standing for what the tribal people need, what the Ikche people need. I got 9 kids myself. I got several grandkids, and they're adults now, and they struggle to be able to make their own way. So just like a lot of our people in the public here, you know, I live in a trailer house on my mom's land, and I bought that trailer house for $4,000, was condemned by the St. Francis School. I'm not trying to use our tribe to get myself anything other than one day at a time. You know, I'm a victim of a drive-by shooting. Lost my family 20-some years ago. So like many of our people, I know what it's like to struggle. I know what it's like to try to figure out how to make ends meet. And Cherry Todd does a real good job of trying to work with LEAP and others. And all my 9 years of being on the board, they would lay out bills and go through with the LEAP director and make sure they could pay as many as possible. And following the state, like Glenn said, we actually cut somebody off for power that they used 2 months ago. So other places make you pay ahead of time. Go to Bennett County, and you got to pay ahead of time oftentimes, which we've talked about doing. If you want to put $100 down, we'll run that power till you run out of power. So those changes we've talked about, we would like to see anything that our membership would like. And our membership is more like 90% Native American. So we're happy to make whatever changes. I'm happy to lead that charge. Thank you.
Thank you, Sean. Shakira, I'd like to go back to you and kind of, you know, I know you have experience with voting procedures and policies and that kind of thing. And I think there's a question on here that kind of talks about tribal laws and Cherry Todd. And like, I think one of them was even talking about a business license, it might have been, is where that question has the background on it. And also having our local utility providers as well as Cherry Todd following our tribal laws and anything on bylaws that you might think of.
Okay. One of the amendments I would like to see to our bylaws is the online voting or mail-in voting. If Golden West can do it, I don't see why it's a big deal for Cherry Todd. We have low voter turnout in all of our elections. I don't know the reasoning behind that. I don't know if people are just bucky or, you know, just don't want to go around people. One of the things that I would like to see is our tribal programs, you know, go around. I know they did it for state elections. They should be able to do it for our tribal and our Cherry Todd cooperative elections as well, is hall voters. Like I said, I don't see why online voting or mail-in ballots are not a thing yet, or why Cherry Todd does not support it. So that's one of the reasons why I ran as well, is to get, you know, educate myself more on that. We do, as you know, Sean said, we are a sovereign nation. I think our Cherry Todd cooperative should respect that sovereignty by, you know, listening to our cooperative members, listening to, you know, what we want, and speaking with a lot of our membership. That's one thing well, how come we don't do online voting? Because I just voted for Golden West online. Well, how come we don't do mail-in ballots? That's, you know, So that's something that I think that is really important. Overall, respect tribal sovereignty and acknowledge the authority of the Rosebud Sioux Tribal Court where it's appropriate. Work in partnership with the tribe to avoid conflicts, lawsuits, strained relationships, and negotiate agreements that clearly define roles, responsibilities, and jurisdictions so both sides are respected.
Okay, thank you, Shakira. I think that, are we running into our time? Go on with a couple more questions.
We could go on, but, you know, that's the same one, the same question down the road, and then maybe time to do a question after that.
Yeah, no, go ahead.
No, you could, it's
Yeah,
up to you guys.
no, go ahead, you can.
No, I was just looking at all the questions, and all the candidates are really informative in respect to their responses. It's much appreciated. But the one thing that, and I'll be honest with you, I personally don't know much about net metering. Can somebody break it down just a little bit better? I mean, it was briefly talked about, but can we have a little better breakdown of what it is for our watchers, our listeners? Because if that's a path that maybe sought through Cherry Todd, it would be a lot better if folks understood how it's broke down and what it means, what are the benefits, what are the disadvantages, if any, and just maybe starting with, I'll go opposite. I'll start with Sean over there, and then we'll come back and work it back this way.
Okay, so net metering is basically somebody who would like to, examples of net metering around here are like when you have the solar panels that are on some of the houses that are over there by the JDC. That's a good example. The tribe owns those houses. It's pretty easy for them to keep that data, to find out how much it costs for, you know, those people to be there and how much power that they're generating. That helps them because that helps take care of some of the costs of that person's house there. But net metering would be in a larger scale, like at the casino. They got 300 megawatts of power given to them by the Department of Energy. Now, South Dakota law says when you have something that's at 150 megs, you have to charge a commercial fee. So the commercial rate is way higher than, and so what we did is we informed the tribe that if you're going to do that out there, you should break it down so it's under 150K. And then we can still keep it at the lower rate. So they're sitting there and they're generating power, but as we asked them to do, they should have built out that infrastructure themselves. And instead, they asked us to do it, and there's a fee to do that. And not only is there a fee, but now we own the equipment, and there's a rental to use our equipment. Whereas if they would have done it like we said and just put it in themselves, then, you know, we couldn't, they could have used all that power for all those people who live there.
So cut the middleman, per se.
Cut the middleman. So what this often does is the net metering, as it's done in Nebraska, it pays the utility company to put the power back on the line. So some people not only have their own house, but they don't need all that power because, you know, there's way more of a grid outside, or that solar field is so big. So they want to put the power back onto the line. And what I'm saying is what we do in Nebraska is we split that. There's some sort of a math problem in it to say it's worth who knows how many cents a kilowatt or whatever, and then we break that down and we'll say, well, you can get X number of that money, and we're gonna get a certain amount, which is the usage of our fee, a facilities fee or something like that. I wanna touch on one other thing, because that's in the law. That's a South Dakota law, that these co-ops are they're built under those laws of the South Dakota. So when it says online voting and mail-in ballots, Rosebud can say all they want, you know, that they can we're sovereign, we can pass a law. We could pass a law that Joe Biden has to pay us all $1,000. Joe Biden isn't gonna pay us $1,000 because our sovereign nation told him to. Same thing with South Dakota. We gotta follow their path. Their path doesn't allow mail-in ballots, nor does it allow online voting. Why Golden West can? That's a question for a lawyer. That's another path. They were able to do it, but they can't do it with electric associations, with our utilities, with this co-op. We can't. We're in favor of that. Many of us would like that. I would love for our people to sit at home and vote, even for the elections that are held for statewide. So that's my opinion. I agree with you on it, but we can't just force Cherry Todd to do it because they're in our land. That isn't something that their lawyers let us do. And even if we as a board voted to do that, we would be breaking the law, and then we'd be getting penalties or losing loans, or we'd have problems with the co-op trying to be run against what the state law is.
Because I just want to make a rule that but people can vote for, they can vote online. You know, that people can vote online, so.
Not in a co-op election, though. Specifically, co-op is the topic here.
Can I say something? You know, everyone deserves equal time. Let's get back to that. I guess that someone has to be fine that I would be myself. We've got in trouble before for the board because, you know, everybody needs to be equal time. So just get back to that. And we're not supposed to, and I did that, so I apologize. I'm not trying to personalize it. You can't personalize anything. But let's just get back to, maybe everybody has to get the answer to the same question.
That's what I'm going to do.
Net meter and go, Glenn.
Yep. Glenn, could you comment on that? That same question?
Not too much, just basically what Sean is talking about. I'm not real familiar with it.
Okay. That's fine. Noah?
So on net metering, South Dakota's law sets a rate of what the cooperative is paying from Rushmore or WAP or anything, and that's a rate that they will pay for the electricity coming back into their lines, nothing above that.
Okay.
So that's the difference in prices between us and Nebraska.
Okay. Now, and there, I'm sure there's difference in pricing as well.
Yeah, there is.
Due to
difference in
states
prices.
and jurisdictions and whatever the case may
The
be.
reason we can't pay more is because the law says we pay what we get from other providers.
I see. I got to keep it
Yeah,
somewhat
it's
in
even-
comparison,
that's-
whatever.
yeah.
Okay. Shakira?
My take on net metering is, it's important for our tribe for energy sovereignty, economic development, and fairness.
Okay.
I do believe there are ways around it. I'm not a, listen to lawyers kind of thing. I do believe we are a sovereign nation. If enough of our cooperative members vote to have net metering, I don't see why we can't. And not hide it to, to where we have to pay them a certain amount. I don't know why we're capped at 150.
Okay. One of the other questions I had, I kind of kept it basic in the sense that one or two of the questions that I was going to ask of all the candidates have kind of been answered somewhat, which is pretty awesome. But one that I see that maybe not had come up is that, in your opinion, we'll start with you, Shakira, this time. What are the duties do you believe that are of the Cherry Todd Electric Cooperative Board member? What are the duties? I mean, based on just as a board member in general.
What my duties would be? Oh, that's the wrong one. Sorry. I think my duties as a board member would to be a strong voice, to listen to our cooperative members, and speak for them. Let the other board members know, and Cherry Todd workers as well, know what their concerns are, because I see, I had somebody approach me and ask me, oh, I see you're running for Cherry Todd. I went into the office the other day and I was treated very rude. that's something that I think that we really need to amend those ties with Cherry Todd and our membership. Membership should be treated with fairness. They should be treated as, you know, as anybody else would be. I think it's not a good thing to go in there and receive attitude from somebody. So that's something that I would like as a board member, I want to be their voice. I want to hear what they have to say, their concerns, and I want to bring it up in our board meetings.
No?
Yeah, I think the biggest thing as a board member is to make sure that our membership gets reliable service. You know, I mean, you gotta have your electricity, and you gotta have an affordable rate. And as what Kira was talking about, I would hope that our staff at Cherry Todd is treating everybody as an equal, you know, and if they're not, they should be educated to do so. You know, we all live here, so that's my comment on it.
Okay. Glenn?
You know, I agree with what Noah's talking about, affordable rates and reliable energy to our membership, and figuring out ways to improve on it. I believe as board members, we represent the tribe in some aspect as far as providing services.
Okay.
Of course, listening to our membership and bringing it to the board for discussion anyway, whether it's within the laws or not, tribal or state. We need to find that common ground and try to address it as members of the board.
Okay. Okay. Sean?
I think the question is about duties of the board, and I think the two gentlemen next to me will tell you it seems like rocket science when you first start going through a lot of this stuff, so it is pretty difficult to, we basically meet monthly and we go through a lot of information and approve a lot of actions that need to be taken in order for us to have that cheap and reliable power. And I would just say that after attending for, you know, a good 10 years these activities in the state and regionally, we have some of the best rates around, and I think the two gentlemen would nod and agree. South Dakota last year commended us, mentioned our board, and said we have a mostly Native American board. And I said, you know, that's not the big thing about us. The big thing about us is our rates are cheaper. You take a winter, the Rosebud Cooperative gets 100% allocation from WAPA. They get free hydropower, and we gotta beat that rate, and we do. So we only get 20% of that same type of pass down of money from WAPA, and yet ours are competitive with places like Oahe up in Pierre, where they have a dam right there, and they have a big dense population up here, and Sioux Falls. So among those places, our rates are as good as you'll find in the state. And again, I hope the guys next to me would agree and say, yeah, not only is this difficult science learning, but we're running it as good as can be here. So I'm proud of our cooperative, and you know, we lead in a lot of other areas as well. For the state to take time out of their state meeting and mention our cooperative speaks well for us.
Okay. Thank you for your answers, everybody. I'll ask one more. And this is a tough question because in what I've seen, especially in north central Nebraska, it's not a welcoming decision for clean energy in that area. So as a lead up to this question, we'll start with yourself first there, Sean, and work our way backwards again. Do you support clean energy? And if so, what forms?
I support all forms of clean energy. You know, I would hope that we would honor and protect Mother Earth and do whatever we can to put as many solar panels on our buildings as we did. Like when I worked at Ho Chung Kink, you know, now every building has, I think they got $800,000 worth of solar panels to put on all of their facilities. Our casino, when we wired that, we should have wired it in to where the casino gets free power. And then it goes so even when we're hiring engineers, sometimes they're not thinking of what would be best for our tribe. So I'm for all sorts of clean energy. I'm also for using that river. We should be able to do a lot more hydro off of the river to power our communities like Spring Creek. That little dam in White River would power up 32 houses on a monthly basis. So just think of what we could do if we were to build up some of those areas that, you know, we can afford to develop a little bit. So I support all sorts of, I also wish we'd do recycling and do something with some of our, you know, junk cars and all the stuff that we have on the reservation, all the plastic and all that stuff that could be repurposed and reused and recycled. Thank you.
Thanks, Sean.
Yes, I'm in support of that also. You know, Sean pretty clear that on what needs to be done. The tribe, in seeking a lot of these grants, because of being a tribe, we're not prepared, and they can use Cherry Todd, I believe, for like consultant or something, asking us for direction on, because we have resources also, like from Basin Electric and stuff, that provide some expertise in these areas. That solar panel out to the village sat there for a number of years and not moving. And once I got on TUC, I asked about it and questioned, and it wasn't within our authority, but we brought it up to the people involved, and it started moving. Now I believe there's an agreement in place. Without seeing ahead, the tribe went ahead and put up this big old farm, and they didn't have the resources to connect it, and they thought they could just go run it into WAPA, I believe. They're thinking, without maybe visiting with Cherry Todd Board or its manager, couldn't advise them. So that goes back to that working relationship with Cherry Todd and them.
Okay. Noah?
Yeah, I like solar energy. I've got a pump that runs, solar panel that runs the pump for watering our garden at home. We got a Red Cloud solar thing that's hooked to the house, been there for a long time. You know, it would just solar, just for running livestock pumps around here, if it was a larger percent would help out. You know, there's just a lot of things that solar could do for us.
Okay.
And like I said before, it could be a big backup plan for Cherry Todd if something comes down the loop that we can't.
Sure.
You know,
Makes sense.
what worries me anymore now is winters here. Something happens to Cherry Todd's system. I mean, most people here are got portable heaters in every house, you know.
Yeah.
What's gonna happen?
True.
So we all gotta work together to do something for, you know, our members and get a better reliable thing going.
Sure. Okay. Shakira?
Yes, I support clean energy, solar energy, wind energy. It's for energy efficiency. But it also brings up the question, are our grids going to be able to handle it? Are we at, you know, our transmission capacity is, we have discussed that a few times. I went to a DOE conference in Denver, and that's one of the things that we got to make sure our grids and our transmission capacity is up to par. Solar energy is awesome, wind energy is awesome. Anything to help us sustain ourselves in the most clean way and to honor our tribal sovereignty and our Mother Earth.
Yeah, excuse me, can you hear me now? Okay, excuse me, moderators, but you know, we mentioned Mr. Lafferty, Craig Lafferty, running from Golden West. I wanted to do that, I was going to do initially a short interview. I want to do that now, so, cause I know when we get done, guys, we're all going to want to go. I don't want to, you know, deprive Mr. Lafferty of, you know, time he couldn't be here tonight. I know that you've sacrificed your time and supposed to be at a basketball game right now. We're good friends, and so I apologize to you for that, but this is an important time. We're getting important messages out to the new developments. We see tribal members actively pursuing office, different ones. What I never noticed is District 4, which is our tribal homelands. We don't see too many tribal members running for the Golden West. And about I want to introduce Mr. Craig Lafferty. He's running for the Golden West Board. So I just wanted to give you the opportunity. A couple questions I want to ask you. So in about 10 minutes, maybe we could ask, who you are, who your Toshba is, why you're running. Thing I'm interested, do you think there's adequate representation of the Golden West Board for the Native American community, the tribal community? And another one, I guess, would be, could you please explain what this online and the voting is and voting by mail? We're looking for equity, equality, and if it takes, amending state law, we can't give up on that, And so I'm going to turn it over to Mr. Lafferty here, So Craig, the time is yours now. No, we're taking a little break, but we're doing a little interview with you now, No, but no.
Volleyball. Okay.
But just go ahead and take a few minutes,
Off of this mic?
Yes.
I don't have to be on camera like you guys? That's
Yeah,
good.
you do.
Oh, no. Oh, no. Okay. Let me just read this real quick, guys. My introduction. Good evening, everybody. Thank you for allowing me to be here. To introduce myself, here, let me stand up here. My name is Craig Lafferty. I'm an enrolled member of the Rosebud Sioux tribe. I'm the father of 3 boys, a business owner. I grew up on the Rosebud Reservation, graduated from Todd County High, went on to receive a bachelor's degree of science in radiologic technology, graduated in 2000, returned home to serve our people at Rosebud IHS. Retired there, 20 years service. Since then, the last 9 years, just been a stay-at-home father, rancher, a truck driver, an entrepreneur, dabbled in a lot of tribal subcommittees, ran for the South Dakota House of Representative for our district, vice chairman, just trying to find some areas and some strengths where I could contribute to, where I could help out. Just to hear the Cherry Todd candidates on the way in over here. A lot of good responses, I think. Educating ourselves, asking the questions, breaking down the barriers of lack of communication, lack of education, not knowing and assuming. I think maybe it was Sean and mentioned stomping on the table, a fist on a table type of thing, out of frustration. Not that we're butting heads, it's just we don't have that. Golden West, kind of a unique situation here. Golden West District 4 covers Wombly, Long Valley, Martin, Pass Creek, Vital, Mission area. So it's kind of unique. So it will be representing not just RST, but also OST too. So there's kind of a unique component to that. And speaking to some reps from over there also, they have concerns and questions that they wanted to throw out here. I met with some tribal members here, officials, talking about some issues that RST has. And just getting out and talking to individuals in the Martin and Long Valley area that have issues from, one, they don't even have internet service, or two, why does it take a week or longer to come out, somebody to come out and fix my modem or fix my phone line? So there's those array of questions to, and hearing you guys' response, you talk about legal matters. When you have a sovereign nation, in this case, you'll be dealing with 2 different sovereign nations that have their own tribal governments, and a cooperative that is governed by either state standards or federal standards, and there's some barriers that have not been broken, or there hasn't been mutual agreements on progression and moving forward. So I just thought I would take the opportunity to try to be that individual, to understand all parties, to make a better co-op, better telecommunications, having a medical background in medical imaging. For me, it was huge. When I started, we started with films, developer and fixer, chemical stuff, where we moved up into digital age, where we got rid of that and it turned into computer stuff. Well, with computer stuff, you had to have internet, and trying to send CTs when we first got our scanner in 2002, trying to set a head CT to Mitchell, to our doctor, to read it, man, it could take up to an hour and a half to have that done. And it wasn't like some of you guys had mentioned in your responses, we kind of put the cart before the horse. I think with the solar panels you guys were referencing, there was really nothing in there. Where the department, we had the equipment to make it happen, we just didn't have the broadband infrastructure to make that happen. So by getting around certain ways, different connections to do that, we were able to speed up that connection. But long story short, what it boils down to is if it's in the medical field, if you're talking about patients, or if you're a politician, you're talking about constituents, or clients or customer service, they're your forefront. They're your people you're trying to serve. And that's where I was at with that. We need to get that fastest connection, not that me and my staff is going to play video games and x-ray all day long, but we wanted that fast internet to make sure that your family member got their images to our radiologist for a quick interpretation. So we knew we had a bleed in the head, if we had to get them on an airplane and get them out of here. Can we say that that type of internet connection should be given to everybody? I don't have that answer, but why not? You know, if there's broadband, if there's fiber optic technology out there, get it out there for everybody, you know? And if there isn't, let's educate the population so that people know why we can't have that. So, in short, in conclusion, in my introduction, Ron, that's where I'm running for Golden West District 4, is to try to, one, educate myself, find the barriers that are there, and sift through everything so we could work together to progress moving forward in the future.
And we need to get back to the Cherry Todd, but could you just conclude with online voting, what the process is, and et cetera? And we'll get back.
The online voting, you can vote up until September 23rd, as long as you have your letter in the mail that you received in the mail, or you could also call Golden West and ask them for a copy of that. I think your PIN is for a specific four-digit number. I think it's your last four of your social. They could give that information to you, and then you could log on to their website. I have a couple flyers here. It's probably not helped out. I try to put it on my Facebook thing, but you could vote that way. You also could have asked for a mail-in ballot, but that time has expired. I think you had until September 9th to request that. So right now it's just online, and then going to the annual meeting on the 27th in Wall, and you can vote in person while you're there.
Well, from the Utility Commission, we're going to be there personally, right, Shakira? Yeah, and Glenn. Well,
Okay.
Thank you.
Yes,
We'll get
thank you.
back. I'm sorry, guys.
Oh, sorry, my mic wasn't on. Thank you, Craig. I have some stuff I want to get back to a little bit with Golden West, but I just want to say that we're going to wrap up with the tribal members who are running for the three seats that are available for Cherry Todd Electric Board of Directors. One of our candidates had to leave. His name was Glenn Yellow Eagle, so I just want to say thank you, Glenn Yellow Eagle, for showing up and letting the public know what your thoughts are and your opinions, and a little chance to meet you and decide whether they want to vote with you, for you or not. So we'll just go ahead and wrap up in conclusion, and we'll start with Sean.
Well, I just want to thank Offer and Koya for, and the tribe's communications for putting this together, giving us the opportunity. We don't really realize how important it is to vote. Vote online, vote for, you know, us here. We need this participation. I know last year when I was running for office in November, I made some commercials at the good stations up there, and people said I was exaggerating because I said we're going to lose, some people are going to lose their SNAP, their EBT, some people are going to lose Medicaid and Medicare. I got done and they said, you exaggerate too much. And now we're feeling that. And so importance of voting cannot be stated any better than what Offer is doing. We appreciate you guys, and we can haul voters. We are unique as a tribe where we're sovereign. We don't have to play by what the state says. There's certain guidelines that we can follow, but our tribe can do a lot more to make sure that more people are voting, and I appreciate all the work that you guys are doing. Thank you.
Yes, thank you for letting me be here. It's been a pleasure being on the board, and I just hope everybody gets out and votes. Thanks to Offer, thanks to Koya, thanks to everyone who's here.
Shakira?
Just a reminder, if anybody missed it, my name is Shakira Rattlingleaf. I am running for Cherry Todd Board of Directors. I am running for Cherry Todd Board of Directors because I believe in keeping our cooperative strong, reliable, and focused on the needs of its members. As a member-owned utility, Cherry Todd should always put our people first, ensuring that families, farmers, and businesses across our service area have access to safe, affordable, and dependable power. If elected, I will work to keep our rates fair and affordable, invest in reliable service, support renewable, sustainable energy options, put tribal members and membership first, and strengthen our local economy. I'm committed to representing all members with fairness and accountability. Serving on this board means being a voice for the community. I am ready to do that with honesty, integrity, and dedication. Together, we can keep Cherry Todd Electric strong for today and future generations. So please get out and vote at the Ben Rifle Auditorium, 10 a.m., Mission, South Dakota, on September 20th. Thank you. And I'd like to thank Offer, Rose, and Ron. You guys do a lot of good work. I've worked with you guys before, so it's a little bit different being on this side of the camera. I'm usually on the background of everything. Thank you to Joe. Thank you to Gunnar, Callan, Roger, also to Paula and John. And thank you, Craig, for showing up and letting us know your platform. You got my vote.
Thank you.
And our fellow candidates. Good luck to all of you guys.
Up to you.
Thank you. Before we wrap up, I just want to remind everybody that, Golden West, they're also a utility company on our reservation. Cherry Todd Electric's annual meeting is September 20th at the Ben Rifle Auditorium at 10 o'clock. And to be there, if you want to participate in the meeting, provide your vote, probably get a free gift.
Yeah. The door prize.
Get a door prize if you're one of the members, but the requirements for voting there are to be a cooperative member, and if you're voting for another business or entity that you cannot vote for your own membership, you have to only have one vote, which is good because I know in the past there was there was some more than one vote, so that is all I'll say with that. But, and with the Golden West 73rd annual meeting is coming up on September 27th, and I believe that's at Wall. And I was looking at their website, and you can vote online. When you get right to their website, it has vote here, vote now, so there are options to vote right when you get on their webpage. So if you want to give us a little bit more information about that, Craig, that would be really helpful.
Sure. Thank you, Paul. Yeah, I mean, it's in a sense, it's pretty straightforward. I mean, I think their website is set up where it's very user-friendly. It points in the right direction, very simple. The drop-down menus are in there, and I think the categories are, I think all the other districts, if I remember correctly, are going unopposed. So this year it's pretty easy when you get to District 4. I think it's Mr. Osmond and I, and that's it. But as far as requesting mail mail-in ballots, you had until September 9th again to request that. That time frame is now passed, so now it's just down to calling in or getting your number and doing it online, or traveling to Wall on the 27th.
You want me to say it all again?
Do you want him to, can you hear him better now? Would you like him to?
Can you hear me now? It was red.
Can you repeat yourself?
I could repeat myself real quick.
Good practice.
It was pretty, their website is pretty straightforward as far as voting for, I think everybody's texting me now that my mic was shut off. Thank you. In a nutshell, you had until September 9th to request mail-in ballots. That time has expired. Now it's just online voting up until the 23rd of this month, or you could travel to Wall and vote in person on the 27th. In a nutshell.
Thank you, Craig. That was really good. That was a good wrap up. But I just want to thank each one of the candidates for coming out. And, you know, it's always a little nerve-wracking to talk to the general public, and especially being on Koya. Koya has a large listening audience. So I just want to say thank you for offering your words. You know, it's always really encouraging for me and inspiring for me to see our tribal members come out and take that initiative to come out to be elected. You know, like Craig, for instance, he's, you know, I don't know how many, you know, I'm not up on the history of Golden West or the number of natives that have ever been on the board, but I'm really happy you're running and hope that you get elected. And with Shakira, thank you. You know, it's really hard for working mothers to come out, and Sandy and Sean and Glenn, you know, it's really encouraging. And I remember 10 years ago, we had no tribal members on Cherry Todd Electric. And Ron and I and Rose looked at that situation and said, we need to have the appropriate, proportionate number of Native Americans on the board as there is cooperative members. So our goal was to get 90% of the board of directors to be tribal members. And we fought for years, and it took us a long time to gain some credibility within the community to realize that the questions and the current concerns that we had with Cherry Todd Electric were valid. You know, there were valid concerns that we all had and we all shared. And we wanted to, you know, at the time, there were people in our communities who did not even have electricity yet. So there was a time when we needed to reach some people and make sure our communities had reliable electricity. And so we decided to do the empowerment meetings, and that's when we started encouraging, you know, tribal members to come out and vote. And I know Ron and Rose and myself and other members that have volunteered, you know, in the past. We also had Angela and Fast Horse. Joe also came out and helped us for many years. Nikki Red Hawk also came out. There was so many other people that have came and volunteered. Melina Richards also, she also volunteered, Vaiwan. But there's a lot of people that, Dan Gargan, rest in peace, Dan. He really supported us and did a lot with us to try to get people to realize and take ownership of the cooperatives, because they do belong to our tribal members. They are the ones paying the bills, and they are the ones keeping the energy flowing in our communities, both energy and, you know, energy within our people. So I just want to say thank you, and thank you to John and his crew, Koya, for coming out, and I just want to appreciate and say thank you to all the listeners.
And in reference to that, thank you so much as well. I wanted to thank all the candidates that came out tonight, all four. You know, I was looking through the questions here, and all the answers were spot on, in my opinion. You're very versed in not only the way you personally feel about the cooperative, but you're also versed in what you think it should become. And that's having that vision, and that's very important. As everybody sitting there knows, you've served in some kind of capacity, whether it be a state senator, representative, whatever the case may be, a board members for both school boards, Cherry Todd, whatever the case may be. So it's really nice to see that we've got, like Paula said, we've got folks that are dedicated, and you know, you all have families. You know, you do a good job in that respect as well. You all have jobs, whatever the case may be. But this election is going to be very important. I mean, I know there's 3 spots, there's 4 candidates, so may the best candidates win. But first and foremost, and based on our last election we had here a couple weeks ago, more people, this is probably one of the biggest elections that we are having on the Rosebud, besides the tribal elections, that are going to affect future generations here on the Rosebud. And it's going to kind of set a precedent for future involvement of tribal members on the Cherry Todd Board of Directors. It's a very big responsibility, and I think by what we've seen here tonight, all 4 candidates are very versed, as I mentioned earlier. So it's very important Saturday that folks get out and they vote, and they vote for who they think is the best candidate. Nobody should be told who to vote for, never. But it's one of the most awesome things I think we have in our country as a whole, is that we're able to vote and vote for who we feel is the best person for that job. Because it is a job, even though it's not a full-time job, it's a job. And I just wanted to say, again, thank you. And also, I've known Craig for many a year. I know he's a straight-up person, as with all board members, or excuse me, all candidates that are looking to vie for those 3 board positions. So I want to say as well, Craig, it's good to see that you're hanging in there, and that I hope that, as with the Cherry Todd candidates, all folks will get online, like you said, press that button, vote, and make Craig your District 4 candidate, a person who can make a difference. Because as with all boards, I know that Sandy and Sean have already been, correct me if I'm wrong, on the Cherry Todd boards, so you understand everything. And then Shakira has the wherewithal, the hindsight to know that although she's not been on there, she's willing to take that chance and go forward and become a productive member representing the Rosebud Sioux tribe. And Craig, I feel that you are the same mindset. Like I said, I've known everybody on this panel here tonight for many a year. And
Just don't share any stories.
Yep. Yes, sir. You got one?
No, you.
Oh, no. I mean, but I just want to say thank you guys very much, because I know your hearts are in it. You just don't do it for prestige. You don't do it for like or dislike. You do it because your hearts are in it. You care.
Absolutely.
And that's one thing that's never brought to light, is the person that runs for an office. You have to care. You just can't run for an office and not care. It's not worth running if you don't care. You may not have to show it all the time, but back in the depths of your heart and your mind, you care. There's a passion, and some people are good at what they do. And when you get on boards, or if you get on state offices, whatever the case may be, tribal offices, you get good at what you do, and the ultimate goal is you're there for the people. I always say that, and that's what I tell in a little story. That's what I tell when we bring somebody on new for our radio station, the YouTube channels, and I'd like to also thank Roger again for the YouTube. We are on YouTube channel 93 Live. We're also, and I didn't mention his name earlier, and I apologize, Wrangler Rob is on the board right now. He's manning the board at the radio station, so thank you, Wrangler Rob. I appreciate that very much. But like I said, you got to care, and you guys, you care. I've seen it here tonight. And I don't usually say something unless I truly mean it. Because it's easy to say words without meaning. It's easy to say words to appease a person, but I don't roll that way. If I see something, I really accentuate the positives in everything I try to do. And when like I said, when we bring people on at the radio station, I said, we're here for the people. Cut and dry, nothing else. We're here for the people. So with that said, I just want to say thank you guys very much. Ronnie?
Yeah, I did have this, if I permit me, guys, but it's important that we thank the Rosebud Sioux tribe. This is Rosebud Sioux tribe here too. But I want to thank the tribe as a whole, past administrations, budget finance committees. We're a small Ikchewa now. We're a grassroots group, you know, but we couldn't have done it without the RST media. We couldn't have done it with the budget finance committees made it possible for us to do the outreach since 2012. We've been working, we had our first victory with Whitney Meek, you know. So now we had a majority board till last year because Offer didn't organize. We had a poor turnout, but we strive forward. And I also want to thank the General Operations Department, or GOD, and it's important that I thank them, Mr. B.B. Long, my neighbor, and the GOD Squad, Wopila. And to you, John, all you good people here.
Thank you, Ron. And thank you, Rose, very much as well. Thank you very much.
I have one last question. Oh, I just have one last question, and this is for Sean Bordeaux, who's the chairman of Cherry Todd right now.